All right, another Swhole recipe video. Let's get going. I gotta go get the ingredients. Oh yeah. Okay, another recipe video. I got all my materials I needed. Now, you guys probably won't be able to make this recipe, and that's okay. You can just enjoy the show. But in case you somehow find all the ingredients, most of the ingredients I'm going to be using are here. We've got olive oil, salt, pepper, buffalo milk, mango lassi, kimchi, wild berries that I collected. We've got lion's mane mushroom, ginger, oyster mushroom, um, these garlic shoots that are in season right now. Got some fresh off the farm eggs, um, and oh yeah, and some smoked duck breast, smoked in apple wood, low and slow. I'm gonna be adding a few extra things like different spices, nuts, that sort of thing. So if you can find all the ingredients, congratulations, but just enjoy. All right, first step, berries in the bowl. Grab us a little bit of ginger. Now, all of these foods are delicious, so I'm not going to try to do too much to them and make the flavors overly complex. And that way the flavors can just come out as they naturally should. Add them to our bowl. Boom. Now, let us grab the main piece of this dish, which is going to be the smoked duck breast, and I'm also going to cut it quite thin. You can just use a little knife for this. Try to pinch at the knife, not use your finger like I do all the time. We'll eventually get through it. Okay, bigger knife. Much easier. Got this duck. It is amazing. All right, we've got these all sliced up. I am going to add some cinnamon because it's going to pair very well with that fruit, and bits of black pepper, just because black pepper is great. Throw that on dry. Make sure it sticks so it doesn't all fall off. And then here's our bowl of fruit. Going to mash that up. Going to add the duck to it. Got our duck, and we're just going to intermix that together. All right, these are going to be set off to the side. I'm going to let those soak. Now, these are garlic shoots. I forget their exact fancy name, but they are incredible. I should do this recipe, but I found these. They're in season and delicious, so I wanted to use them. I'm also going to chop up the mushrooms, both the lion's mane and the oyster. That's what it's called. For the oyster, I'm not going to go so small with my chopping. I want some texture to this, so I'm not going to go crazy small, unlike with the garlic shoots. By the way, this is lion's mane. You may or may not have seen it before. It has many, many neurotropic benefits as well as being delicious. So, very good addition. It smells like forest. Here's our combination of everything together. Looking absolutely scrumptious. And last but not least, regular, good old-fashioned red onions. Red onions, I'm not the best at cutting them, to be honest, but this is the way I've always done it. You just cut, and it's okay if you cry while you're doing it, because, as they say, it just clears out the eyes. At least that's what my mom says. So I don't really worry about cutting it in a specific way to not make me teary-eyed, because it's part of the cooking experience. If you're not putting at least a few tears into your dish, then it's just not delicious. You really just get that onion juice right in the old eyes. It's so effective. I should bring this to acting school. Perfect. Oh, there we go. Got a couple tears in the spoon. I'm just gonna add those. Perfection. All right, there is a bit of steak fat in here, so I will keep that. And I'm going to turn the temperature to medium high and let that preheat before adding anything. Now, while that heats up, I'm going to add some mango lassi to this pot. Oh my god. Nice. It's still slightly frozen, so I'm just gonna mash up that little bit of ice. I'm like slush at this point. I'm gonna add some buffalo milk for that element of fattiness. Make sure to shake it up because it's full of like bits of cream. It's delicious. But I need it a little bit consistent. There we are. A little bit more. Perfect. All right, to this, I'm going to add quite a lot. Curry powder. There we go. And the rest of this kimchi. I'm putting all my wet ingredients in here because I want all of my drier ingredients to brown or crisp. And any wet ingredients are most likely going to prevent that. So I'm isolating all of them here. Good amount of black pepper. There we are. It's also a little more shallow than I thought, so more buffalo milk and some honey just to sweeten it up and help thicken it slightly. I don't have anything like peppers, so I'm going to add some tapatio hot sauce just to give it a bit of spice. We're going to put that on a medium-low temperature. Here is the produce, and let's add it. Yoink. Look at all that deliciousness. Gonna let that all crisp up, cook down, do its thing. Now, don't be scared of adding too much oil or fat to it. Obviously there's like a limit, but there's a bit of steak fat in here. I am going to add some olive oil, not only for flavor, but also just because it needs a little bit more. Oil heats up far more than water, which allows food to get crispy. So it's important. This is in the end. Adding enough salt is the most important, or one of the most important aspects to making a meal taste good. Lots of black pepper as well. I really like lots of black pepper, so you don't have to copy me if you're going to be doing this yourself, but I love it. I've got walnuts, raisins, and almonds. Add them. I'm adding all my dry ingredients to this pan and all my wet ingredients to this pan. Here's the mix so far. Now, in this pan, I'm going to turn, this little one is going to be for the duck. I'm going to use a double burner so that it heats up the edges of the pan as well as the bottom. And I'm going to be turning the temperature just straight up to high. The goal here is just to crisp up the duck. And it's only going to go in there for 30 seconds, a minute before I combine it with the mushrooms. While this butter melts, I'm going to add some cinnamon to it just to mix that in there. Really going to help create this crispy, cinnamony surface of fruity, meaty duck. The reason why I use butter is because it has a really high smoke point, and that will allow it to not break down as easily as something like olive oil. And while all this is going on, I'm very much making sure to mix this so that it doesn't stick. Give that butter a nice circle, and you can test it. If it sizzles, yep, that's how you know it's hot. Lay these away. Anything you're going to add, lay away from you. Don't add in too much at a time, just so that the pan doesn't cool down too much as you're trying to brown these. Alright, here's the progress on this. looking quite delicious. Now, everything's pretty crispy, so I'm now going to lower the temperature a fair amount. I'm going to lower it to about medium low. As you can see, this has curdled a bit, but I'm going to mix it in. I'm just going to pour off some of the remnants to start out with. I did want to get rid of the water in here. It has very like a sweet, mango-y flavor to it, which is exactly what I was looking for. Not bad. Here it is. Let's fill up a bowl. One giant bowl of absolutely delicious food. And this tastes like sweet, spicy curry cheese almost. It's great. We're going to add that on top. Let it fill in the cracks. There we are. Here's the final product. Let's grab one of these duck slices. Feel that purpleness to it. All right, let's give it a try, shall we? Delicious.